I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Meet Barkley. When Barkley smells gas, he leaves fast. When Barkley hears hissing coming from a gas appliance, he leaves fast. When Barkley sees dirt or water shooting from the ground, he leaves fast. Barkley then calls 911 and Southwest Gas from a safe location.
Did that dog just grab a phone and dial 911?
Gas lines can be buried anywhere, so remember to call 911 and Southwest Gas.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Hey, it's Pat. So I went for ice cream the other night, and they had 48 flavors. I couldn't decide. Well, the Valley Toyota dealers have put me in that same position. They have 19 hybrid models to choose from, more than any other brand. How could you choose? Like the ice cream shop, I had to test all 19. Unlike the ice cream shop, I didn't go home with a bellyache, so that's a small win.
Right now, get a rugged 2025 Tacoma SR or SR5 with 1.75% 48-month financing. Or get low 1.75% financing for up to 72 months on a full-size Tundra. With great deals like this, now's the perfect time to visit your Valley Toyota dealer or valleytoyotadealers.com. Toyota, let's go places. 1.75% with $21.59 per thousand borrowed for 48 months. 1.75% with $14.64 per thousand borrowed for 72 months. Offers end 11/3/25 and exclude CRD Pro models. See dealer for details.
Right now in Scottsdale, Mitsubishi, you could receive 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard right, 0% APR for 60 months.
Think how much you'll save when you pay no interest.
Name your number, Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Scottsdale Mitsubishi.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
Well, welcome into a Thursday, October 9th edition of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Kayla Mortellaro filling in once again for Chris Schubert, who's enjoying his honeymoon. Evan behind the glass, who I can barely see because it's dark outside and dark in the studio.
Yeah, and I always have those the blinds down, and typically it's not a problem because the sun's out. But today it is a problem.
It is a problem today, yeah.
I'll be honest, this light in here is really dim. Really dim.
I just kind of looked over and I was like, I know he's there. I saw him this morning. But yeah, it's a little cloudy outside, and I don't know, is this going to be cloudy or not news that Arizona Cardinals are practicing today, and it's being reported Kyler Murray not out there. So this is 2 days in a row of practice this week. Usually Thursdays are pretty pivotal days on whether or not you're going to get out on the field. Obviously, there's going to be another day and a Friday ahead, but this could be very well looking like Jacoby Brissett time back in Indianapolis. And it was interesting. I was just pulling up some Jacoby Brissett stats here because I think we all at this point kind of know who Jacoby Brissett is, what we're getting from him. I did not realize his time in Indianapolis was so long ago, and that really makes me feel very old. He was in Indy from 2017 to 2020. He played 16 games in 2017, 58.8% completion percentage, just over 3,000 yards that season. 15 games for him in 2019 with a 60.8% completion percentage, just under 3,000 yards. But I know that, Evan, we had talked about this before we started the show, And when they signed Jacoby Brissett to back up Kyler Murray this year, I was very happy about that decision. We know what we're getting in Jacoby Brissett. And I remember thinking and watching some preseason action, we don't need to see any more of this. We know the type of quarterback that we're going to get in Jacoby Brissett. Put him on the bench, make sure he doesn't get hurt, so he can be ready to go and prepared in case he is called up, and it could very well be this Sunday.
Yeah, and you and I kind of talked about it right before the show. We know who he was, right? You want to see the young guys sometimes, but having a veteran come in and be able to take the reins and know what it's like to move around the NFL and be in different offenses does give you some sort of confidence in what this offense is going to look like, especially if they don't have Kyler Murray. And listen, the offense hasn't been guns a-blazing to start the year, and so I think there are some people who maybe are excited to see what Jacoby Brissett's going to look like in this offense. Are they going to be able to get it to Marv and Trey McBride more? What are they going to do? Is it a different system? So there's a lot of questions. If it is going to be Jacoby Brissett, I think the jury's still out on who's going to get the start. But if it is Brissett, they have a guy in the room now who has NFL experience. And way back when, a few months ago on the show, Chris and I talked about the backup quarterback is kind of an underrated, important position in the NFL because there are games throughout a year where it feels like most teams have to go with the backup for one start or to finish a game because the quarterback is in concussion protocol or gets banged up for a week. And so the Cardinals went out, spent money on Jacoby Brissett, got a guy who has NFL experience. This is the reason why. So you can plug and play when you have to play the Colts.
Oh, the backup quarterback position is so key, so beneficial because the odds of a quarterback being able to make it through a season, especially a quarterback that plays with a certain style of running with his legs and things of that nature, that the odds are that he's not going to make it through an entire season. So having someone that you feel confident in that is going to just pick up where you left off, or and maybe weirdly in this particular scenario, actually kind of see some life and breathe some life into the offense here, and maybe just see a completely different style of offense being able to push the ball down the field a little bit and getting those playmakers involved. Again, that is also a little bit on, the game plan and what the offense and coordinator and head coach want to see out of the scheme. But we'll pay attention to this as it does look like that Kyler Murray not practicing today. Also, it looks like Darius Robinson wasn't out there either, but not really sure that was to be expected. It's more just kind of a Kyler Murray that we're paying attention to with that foot injury. But do want to set the scene, though, for today's program. We'll have Josh Inglis from Covers.com at 11:15 or so to chat and preview the NHL season for us. There are a couple of different contract extensions for some big names this week. So we'll dive into that with Josh, and then we'll have buy or sell at 11:45. And then we'll get set for Thursday Night Football with Chris Vizignano from the Giants Insider around 12:15, 12:20 to chat Giants football, Thursday Night Football, Cam Scattaboo, all the things that we need to know ahead of tonight's game. Well, let's go back to yesterday. For the Major League Baseball playoffs, you had all the games going. The Tigers tied up the series with the Mariners following a 9-3 victory yesterday. Javier Baez, that's a name from the past, homered, stole a base, and drove in 4 runs in the contest yesterday. The long ball, though, was certainly working, with Riley Green hitting his first career postseason home run. Gleyber Torres also hit a home run in the game. And when you talk about needing power in the playoffs, this statistic here is crazy. The Tigers entered the day with home runs accounting for just 17% of its run production. Meanwhile, for the regular season, it was sitting at 42%. If you are the Tigers, maybe you're feeling also pretty good, because tomorrow it's already been announced Tarek Skubal is on the mound for you.
Yeah, and if you're the Tigers, you know the history, right? Tarek Skubal 0-3 in his 3 starts against Seattle. And if you're Seattle, you're saying, yeah, we've gotten to Tarek Skubal. Don't hit the panic button just yet. But from an outside perspective looking in, you look at Game 4 and you think, man, maybe that was Seattle's chance, because you're up 2-1 in the series. You don't have to face the best pitcher in baseball, and now you have to come back home where you've had a lot of success, no doubt. But you do have to do it against Tarek Skubal. And Skubal, let's face it, has had his struggles against the Mariners. Do we really expect him to go 0-4 in 4 starts against the Mariners? So it's one of those things where the Tigers were able to jump on the Mariners. They got out, got 9 runs, kind of put this game away, didn't have to use a lot of their arms in the bullpen. And now you're in a spot where I have an off day. I'm going to have a full rested Tarek Skubal in Game 5 and a bullpen that just came off an off day. So I like my chances if I'm the Tigers. The Mariners are thinking the same thing, though. So this is going to be an interesting Game 5. I really flip a coin. I think I would take Detroit just based on the pitching matchup. But flip a coin and who you like in this one. This is going to be a fun Game 5.
It should be a really fun Game 5. And to your point, though, about Skubal, I mean, 1, best pitcher in baseball. But 2, look at these numbers just from the postseason as well. 1.84 ERA, 23 strikeouts, and 14 2/3 innings of work in 2 starts. I mean, and then we talked about it yesterday as well, that maybe at this point the pressure might be a little bit on Seattle because of just their history. They're the only team in MLB that has never made it to a World Series, and now all of a sudden this was your chance. You were up in the series, and now it's coming back home. I do know that you have the home crowd on your side, but maybe a little bit more pressure for you guys to get it done.
Certainly more pressure. I mean, you had this series, what it felt like in control. You lose game 1, you lose game 1, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, you settled down, you took the next 2, and then you lose 1 in Detroit. And I get it. You split at home, you split in Detroit, but the pressure is now on. We weren't able to put them away in Game 4. Can we do it in Game 5 against the best pitcher in baseball?
So the Cubs, they avoided getting swept by using a 4-run first inning to get the game going. Jamison Tyone ended up going 4 innings, giving up 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk with 3 strikeouts. The Brewers got runs in the 1st, 4th, and 7th, but they were unable. This was just prime opportunity right here. Unable, though, to get anyone home in the 8th when they had the bases loaded and 2 outs. Jack Bauers ended up striking out, swinging as Brad Keller was on the mound. So the Brewers here have a 2-1 series lead with Game 4 tonight. That is 6:08 p.m. on TBS. And at the time of me putting this all together, I had not seen who the pitching matchup was.
Quinn Priester, who started last night's game, has had a 6 ERA against the Cubs this year, and it showed up last night. Cubs were able to get 4 in the first inning and then never scored again. You talked about the Brewers' late push to try and get a couple across. They weren't able to do it. The Cubs hang on. I think there are still concerns about this Cubs offense, and it doesn't get any easier tonight because you got Freddie Peralta on the mound for Milwaukee, and that's a massive problem. A guy who's been great all year. Opposing him for the Cubs will be Matthew Boyd, who has been good and had a great playoff start in his first few starts. He posted just a 1.47 career postseason ERA. So this is a guy who's pitched in big moments and knows what it is. It's just a must win for the Cubs, obviously, and you have to win at home. Can the offense actually explode? That's the big question. You weren't able to get any after the first, and that's been the story all season, all series long. In Game 2, you hit the 3-run home run in the first. You went silent from there. So we're talking about now twice in this series you weren't able to score in the second 8 innings of the game. So let's see if they can do it tonight.
Yeah, that certainly is a problem, is being able to get more runs, more run production here and having those explosive opportunities, which the Brewers obviously are a team that are capable of doing that. Now this one, the Yankees unable to get it to a Game 5, falling to the Blue Jays 5-2. I'm curious to get your opinion on this here, because I couldn't believe that Aaron Boone actually let Cam, and we're avoiding his last name here, Cam, go out to start the 7th inning, because to me it felt like you were incredibly lucky to have the game be sitting at 2-1. You were only down 1 run at that point going into the 7th inning. Maybe the bullpen was so taxed that you just were trying to push the boundaries and push the limits. But I felt like in a game where you had to win it, there was no other option, no more days tomorrow if you don't win, you couldn't run Cam back out there. Boone said of Cam post-game, I thought he was good. He didn't have the dominant swing and miss stuff. I thought he pitched really effectively and was filling up the strike zone. I just couldn't believe that that's what happened, and I felt like that was the game right there.
Yeah, and I think I don't hate the decision because when you look at what the Yankees have struggled with all year, it's the bullpen. The bullpen has been their Achilles heel, and especially when you look at Toronto and what they've been able to do against the Yankees bullpen. You had not a dominant swing and miss start, but you had a young pitcher out there battling, giving you everything he had. And it comes down to the seventh. He gets the first out, and then the Ernie Clement single, not hit terribly hard. And then you get a fielder's choice where you couldn't make the play. And so you get an error there. So now we're talking about an inning that he should have 2 outs. And then we make the change to Devin Williams, who is able to get George Springer to strike out swinging. But again, that causes a run. And so then it's just, you weren't able to get the big outs, and you had some errors, and the defense let the Yankees down because they very well could have been out of that 7th inning if they're able to make the play on the second out from Jazz Chisholm, and then they get the strikeout, and a pass ball leads to 2 runners advancing that makes it 4-1 on a single the next batter. So this game could have been very differently. This game could have been 2-1, and then you're talking about the Yankees really putting the pressure on Toronto's bullpen late. But at 4-1 and then extended to 5-1 before the Yankees are able to push one across at the 9th, there's just no pressure on the Blue Jays bullpen, and it's hard to get something going down 4.
Also for the Yankees side of things, I mean, you had Aaron Judge hitting 500 for the postseason, but like you had instead players like an Anthony Volpe who were just really struggling. You didn't have the production that you were expecting to have at the plate from really anyone else. And then you also continue forward with the conversation for the Yankees is, what's the future of Aaron Boone? Is he coming back? I know he said post-game he expects to be back, but what else is he going to say?
Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? But it's one of those things, and Chris and I have talked about it on the show, how much of it is an organizational decision on what they choose to do, deploying the bullpen and creating the lineup, and how much of it is actually a manager decision. And that's the internal conversation the Yankees are going to have. Is it an organizational decision on how we use Devin Williams and how we created our lineups throughout the year? Or is that an Aaron Boone thing? And then the other question, and possibly the more important question, is, do we feel like his message has got lost in the locker room? And if that's the case, then it's truly time to move on. So the Yankees have to kind of look internally, see what they think about Aaron Boone. I don't know how much of this was on Boone this series. You had some really bad plays in the field, obviously cost him last night again. And on top of that, the bats just fell asleep in a few games, and he gave up quite a bit of runs. That Blue Jays offense was relentless.
The thing that's going to be very curious for me is how it really felt like the Blue Jays, they've been the little brother for so long. And so how they are going to take the getting over the hurdle of finally beating the Yankees, having some time off, and then also getting ready to go for a CS series. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. As for the Phillies, they get Game 3, 8-2 over the Dodgers. Kyle Schwarber had his bat going with 2 home runs. He was previously 0 for 8 in the NLDS, but he hit a 455-foot home run off of Yamamoto. Schwarber has now hit 23 career postseason home runs, which ranks 3rd all-time and is the most of any lefty in the postseason. Yamamoto was chased after he was unable to record an out in the start of the 5th inning, and it was a night that he gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk with 1 strikeout, and it kind of just felt like a game that at that particular point in time, if the Dodgers were able to find a way to win, great, but Dave Roberts, when you're rolling out Clayton Kershaw there, who ended up getting rocked, you were kind of conceding that Game 3.
It is crazy on the Kyle Schwarber point to look back and see, okay, where does everybody rank in postseason home runs? Manny Ramirez, number 1 in 29, makes sense. Played in a lot of postseasons with Boston, and one of the greatest right-handed hitters we've ever seen. Jose Altuve, not notoriously a home run guy, but he sits at number 2 at 27. And Kyle Schwarber last night passed Bernie Williams for solo lead of the 3rd spot with 23 postseason home runs. That one he hit last night, I mean, he's had some titanic moonshots in the playoffs. You think about he hit one here in Arizona that was just crushed in a Game 5 that they won that sent it back to Philadelphia. And then you go back the year prior, and he hit one 490 feet in San Diego that was just felt like it was going to get out of that stadium. So he has gotten a hold of some baseballs in the playoffs. But does that give the Phillies the ability to wake up the bats? Were they able to get the top of this lineup rolling? Was 2 home runs enough to get Kyle Schwarber hot? Bryce Harper hit a late double. Was that enough to kind of get his bat rolling? Trey Turner had a few hits. Those are the big questions. Was that a one-off and they saw Yamamoto well last night, and then Clayton Kershaw gets into the game and they were able to score some more runs? Or is that top of the lineup actually going to start heating up and they can really reap the rewards on that? The other thing, the Phillies still, situationally baseball, played really poorly. They got picked off first base. They got thrown out at home. They really could have won that game 15-2, and they did not play that well and still got an 8-2 win. The bats were alive. Situationally, they didn't play that great. So if that continues, it still feels like this is the Dodgers series. There's a lot that needs to be cleaned up on the Phillies side. You survived another day. And tonight you got your ace trying to send it back to home. So you have Christopher Sanchez. You have the pitching matchup. You got to win tonight, send it back to Philadelphia. And then like we talked about with the other series, all the pressure then goes on the Dodgers.
So what's interesting, you brought up a point there about seeing the baseball and getting some hits, and that kind of just starts to snowball in a positive way of momentum as, you know, hitting breeds more hitting. And so I know that, Dave Roberts was kind of conceding the matchup there with how it had all unfolded and who he had available to him. But does that actually hurt you? Because now all of a sudden the bats are alive for the top of the order for the Phillies that had been previously struggling. So that's going to be interesting. You mentioned Christopher Sanchez. He 13-5, 2.50 ERA, 212 strikeouts on the season. That's a 3:08 p.m. start on TBS. With the Dodgers sending out Tyler Glasnow, 4-3, 3.19 ERA, and 106 strikeouts on the year. We will step aside, though, and we will chat some NHL with Josh English from Covers.com on the other side of the break. It is the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
Even if Troy Aikman pretty much said the NFL product sucked last night, he's not wrong. I thought this was supposed to be a brand new Jets. They're more dysfunctional and more undisciplined than ever. You know what would actually be brand new for the Jets? A new head coach starting 0-5. That has never happened, but it looks like there's a very good chance it's about to happen.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. Win a brand new Toyota Tacoma when you support Arizona women. That's right. When you enter Fresh Start's Toyota raffle, your ticket purchase provides women access to comprehensive resources on the path to success. It gives you a chance to take home a Tacoma SR5 double cab. Thanks to Valley Toyota dealers, all proceeds go directly to helping the women Fresh Start serves. Enter until November 21st. One ticket is $100, 3 for $250. Limited to 1,500 entries. Open to Arizona residents 21 and over. Visit freshstartwomen.org/Toyota raffle.
It's the grand opening of Fulton Homes' newest master plan community, Acclaim. This beautiful community features open spaces, multiple parks, and a large aquatic center. Visit FultonHomes.com. Fulton Homes. You're proud to own. We're proud to build.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
When it comes to your electric bill, saving energy means saving money. That's why SRP offers many ways to help you cut costs and boost comfort. From rebates and discounts that can save you thousands of dollars, to expert insights that can help make your home more energy efficient. SRP has tools and programs that give you many ways to save. Explore your options today at srp.net/savings. That's srp.net/savings.
This fall, choose Primavera Online, and you'll be choosing a school with flexibility, personalized support, and an award-winning curriculum that's over 20 years strong. Now enrolling grades K-12 at chooseprimavera.com.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Quick question for you, Yankee fan. How hard were you gripping last night? And how many of you had already fired Aaron Boone and or Brian Cashman by the third inning? No need to answer. I already know. All of you. You can't tell me that you had not given up on that game and the season when you fell behind 6-1. And fair or not, no one needed anything more than your icon Aaron Judge needed that 3-run bomb to tie it in the fourth. I've got to admit, Lewis Varland trying to bust him inside with some serious heat, only to have that dude turn on it and launch it off the flagpole really was the thing of beauty. And so was the resulting pandemonium in that yard. Like 50,000 Yankee fans were clinically dead, only to have Judge take the paddles to every last one of them. I'm not saying that saved their season, but it absolutely kept it alive, while at the same time killing that rap that Judge is a postseason tank. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome. Football season is heating up on Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So don't miss any of the action this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code ROME and get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
You need parts? O'Reilly has parts. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If you were on my football team and you don't carry the football through the goal line, I want you to keep running into the locker room. Take off your helmet because you're never wearing it on my football team again. The only thing I liked was at least a response from head coach Jonathan Gannon to either let him know or encourage him with fire, fury, and vengeance in his face.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Welcome back to the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060, the YouTube stream, KDUS AM 1060, as well as the KDUS 1060 app. We're popping on out to the hotline as we're joined by Josh Inglis, NHL writer for Covers.com. Josh, appreciate you taking some time on the program. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me on. But today's 14-game slate, if you're writing, if you're betting on it, is an absolute gauntlet. And then all of a sudden, the NHL doesn't have any games tomorrow. So well done, Gary Bettman and the NHL scheduling.
Isn't that kind of what everyone always says all the time about the commish there?
Gary Bettman doesn't have a lot of friends. No, that's for sure. But his best interests are the owners, and that's about it. And so I'm not a billionaire. So he's not my friend, but nice to have hockey back. 2 good slates on Tuesday, Wednesday last night, some scoring late. And then today is just going to be absolute madness with 28 teams going today.
So let's start, though, with Connor McDavid. Obviously, he's the best player in the NHL. And there was obviously all the speculation in the offseason about signing a contract. It ended up being a 2-year extension for $25 million with the Edmonton Oilers. So the extension, though, does get started in the 2026-2027 season. What does this say to you, though, about the future of McDavid and the future of the Oilers, that it's just a 2-year deal?
I think he has more leverage than any other player to do this. Let's be honest, back-to-back years, no cups. This guy wants to win. I'm a Leafs fan. I was hoping that it wouldn't, that maybe he'd come to Toronto. But now we've seen the onus go turn on to the front office, who now has to use this money, and they got a lot of money, and we saw it last night. If they don't upgrade in goaltending, if Stuart Skinner is somehow starting playoff games, then the entire organization has done McDavid a disservice. He has saved them $6 million a year, $7 million a year, could have been $10 million a year, basically, by the end of the contract with the salary cap going up. But this money has to be allocated properly because he's out there playing with Leon Draisaitl, who we obviously know is an elite talent. So they got Trent Frederick out on his wing at 5-on-5. This is a team that lacks depth, that had to overpay for guys like Wallman because he's there. And right now there's not a lot of bodies changing addresses because of, obviously, the salary cap going up. But no player in hockey could be able to do this. He is a one-of-one. McKinnon's not in that same area. McDavid is the best. And maybe going forward, some other organizations will say, hey, maybe McDavid left some money. Why don't you do that? No player has to do this. He's the only one that can, and that shows how much he wants to win. But I don't trust the organization in Edmonton to put the pieces around for this Oilers team to get over the hump.
You talked about how you were hoping for him teaming up with Austin Matthews in the Leafs organization. So does this fuel any speculation for them teaming up when they're both unrestricted free agents, though, in 2028?
Now, it will be interesting, right? So there's obviously a lot of talk that's going to go on over the Olympics. We knew that everybody was doing a lot of talking over the Four Nations break last year. But it really will be interesting to see maybe who Connor McDavid can lure over while he's at the Olympics, whether it's teammates, whether it's Americans, whether it's someone else in that tournament to go pick. I don't think they're two good matches. I'm looking at Matthews right now. His game last night was pretty slow. I don't think he's a 60-goal scorer anymore. He just lost Marner. I do think he fits a defensive system well here in Toronto. But outside of that, I don't see both of those guys being on the same page or the same team going forward because Matthews will probably look for max contract.
You mentioned the Four Nations, and you started the conversation with Gary Bettman. Now, I do have to say that that is one thing Gary Bettman did great because that was some awesome hockey there in the intermission of the season last year.
I think he lucked into it. Like, nobody knew that was going to be as exciting as it was. I was in Montreal for that first game versus the U.S. Like, I've never felt like that in a sporting event. Those are just some of the things that just luck out for a sport, for an association like the NHL. That was dumb luck. It was good on paper, but nobody knew that it was going to be that big. And now it's going to be tough for the Olympics to try to fill those shoes because I don't think it's going to be possible what the rivalry was between Canada and America in that Four Nations.
Josh Inglis, NHL writer for Covers.com here on KDUS AM 1060. Okay, so Jack Eichel, he has 100 goals and 153 assists with the Vegas Golden Knights. He locked in with the Knights, though. It's an 8-year, $108 million contract that begins in the 2026-2027 season, which is the 5th largest total dollars contract in NHL history. So is this a good deal for both sides?
Oh, 100%. Now that Marner's there, I think Eichel is a not even a long shot. I think he's like the number 7 or number 8 betting favorite for MVP. You saw it last night, a goal, 3 assists. Marner will bring that to him during the regular season. Jack Eichel has the potential to lead the league in points, lead the league in goals, to be an MVP caliber player, especially in a system in Vegas that knows how to win. It's a win-win for everybody. And at the end of the day, like, this might look, when we look down at the end of this contract, it could be a bargain for Vegas depending on how the cap does over the next few years. And everything's pointing that obviously going up in big chunks year per year. And as more eyes get on this and maybe more money with generated with broadcast rights, that it could be a deal. Obviously, him and Kirill getting big money now, but you just look, and it's like guys are just signing 8-year contracts every year, every day it seems right now, especially leading up to the beginning of the season. So those could be bargains by the end of their terms.
So everyone listening knows that we no longer have an NHL team here. The Arizona Coyotes have moved to Utah. Their 2024-2025 season with the Mammoths, they did all right. They had an above 500 record. So what do you see from them as the new kids in town?
Well, first of all, it's a tough Central Division. I think it might be one of the toughest divisions in all of hockey. Obviously, Nashville and Chicago aren't there yet. But you got Colorado, you got Dallas, and you got the Jets. Like, there's top 3 teams and top 5 that should win the West. Minnesota getting better. the Blues were the best team in hockey over like since Valentine's Day last year. I think they went like 29-4-3 or something, a ridiculous run. That's a team with its arrows up. Utah has so much work to do in terms of catching up, and whether it's building a new system or a new attitude in the locker room. I mean, there are certain pieces within that organization. Obviously, there was some great drafting of Dylan Guenther and Logan Cooley loaded up on that first line. You bring in J.J. Peterka. Yes, that looks good on paper, but hockey is a team played by 12 forwards, 6 defense, and usually 2 goaltenders, and you need to fill out your roster. Clayton Keller and Nick Schmaltz are great together, but outside of that, you got your third line. You're looking at guys like Taylor Yamamoto. That's not someone you want there. Brandon Tanev's not a bad fourth depth piece, but when you look at the defense, you look at guys like Ian Cole and Sean Dursey, Nate Schmidt, John Marino. I know he paid a lot for Mikhail Sergachev, and he's running power play 1, but outside of that, that's not a defense that worries you too much in net in terms of where you get it. I mean, Karol Vejmelka, probably not it, and Vitek Vanacek hasn't been able to find a home. So it will be tough, and that's a hard thing. Can you lure away free agents to make this team better? Because, yes, the draft has been good for this team over the years, but a lot of those guys are already in the lineup, and they're not doing great right now. So it's going to take a splash. And right now, yes, it might be fun to have hockey in Utah, but this is a team that's not going to compete for a playoff spot maybe within, I don't know, a coin flip, 5 years. If you told me that they'd make a playoff in 5 years, I'd probably bet on the under.
So you mentioned 2 teams, though, that are in their same divisions. We'll start with the Colorado Avalanche. Cole Makar, obviously, on defense. Nathan McKinnon on offense. So with the Avalanche here, they're just poised to make yet another run, right?
Yeah, it's just the way it goes with teams who know how to win, and that's Colorado. And you look at someone like Nate McKinnon, like you look at someone like Connor McDavid. He doesn't have a great team around him, but that is a man who runs his locker room and runs his team. That's how hockey is run. Hockey is run by a leader, and Colorado has one. I mean, he's got a Terry Lehkonen on his wing. It's not great, but they did bring in Marty Necas. That was a great trade. I think he could outperform Mikko Rantanen. And this is an organization that's just happy to make moves right at the right time. So I think they're set in net. They're set on defense. This is a team that's going to be tough. And, I mean, it's a tough division. It's a really tough division. How good is Winnipeg going to be? Is Dallas the team that we think they are, considering how deep that lineup is? Or when you lose Jamie Benn, does all of a sudden that lineup not look as great? Having Landeskog back is a big bump for Colorado this year. And moving Ross Colton from the top 6 into the bottom 6 is a better move. But when you got someone like Nathan McKinnon who can eat 23 minutes and the best skater, maybe the best person at their position in Cale Makar, then things are going to go a little different for Colorado. And that's why you see them as the betting favorite to win the division.
So the Dallas Stars, though, they're going to have a new guy at the helm with Pete DeBoer having been fired this past summer. So does that help or hurt this Dallas Stars team chances for playing for a cup?
It's a team that's had some lumps, right? And you never see, and it's why people think that Edmonton has paid its price. It's going to get over that hump. Obviously, the injuries to Florida and closing up the LTIR is going to hurt them. But Dallas just doesn't look like a playoff team as hard as you see someone like Florida. I mean, talk about every league being a copycat league. You want to be the Florida Panthers. You want to run 3 lines. You want to be a tough team to play against. You want to be able to go into the other part and shut up that opposing crowd. And that's what you saw Florida do last year. Dallas, I don't see it happening. Dallas has been great. Why did they have to change coaches? Because what was happening, they weren't being able to get over that bump. And I don't know right now. I mean, obviously guys like Wyatt Johnson, I think Todd Harley's a fantastic piece. But if Jake Oettinger can't be consistent, especially in the playoffs, and I don't put Dallas ahead of teams like Colorado, and I'd put them more in the Winnipeg vein in terms of where they're going to go in the West. And right now, the West, I think it's Colorado and Vegas that go through.
So the Florida Panthers, though, 2 straight Stanley Cups for them. Sergei Bobrovsky, Brad Marchand, Matthew Tkachuk, though, but he's supposed to be out for the first couple of months here. So is it possible for a three-peat?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is if once they get everybody back and healthy. Obviously, a big issue will be if Bobrovsky can be a guy who can handle 55 games this year, and whether this team can handle playing an elite amount of games. Like, let's put all those guys were all on Four Nations teams last year, and they got to play the Olympics again this year. Like, those are very heavy workloads for all those players, and that's why you saw near the end of last season there was a lot of load management going on. But Florida, you just look like even the bottom pairing, even like the bottom lines, with like Jesper Boqvist, and there's some mutants on those bottom lines that you don't want to play against. One of the best defenses, probably the best coach, Paul Maurice. They have an advantage playing at home. They get to slow down northern teams. Like when Edmonton goes down to Florida, like that ice isn't as good as the ice in Edmonton. They don't get to play that fast game. Florida gets to play a slow, meticulous, beat you up in your face game, and they've literally changed what front offices want to build towards for hockey. They've changed it to the extent, I don't know, like to the Rays, like how Tampa Bay was so good. The Rays were turning out a competitive team with a low salary cap. This is a different situation for Florida than other teams, and they're not going to win the President's Trophy. They don't care if they finish 7 or 6. They just need a chip in a chair to get into the playoffs, and no one's going to beat them. So are they going to win the division? No. Am I betting against them to run the table again this year in the postseason and beat up softer teams? Certainly not. But teams like Toronto, I think, have had their number and starting to learn that game a little more. And Colorado, maybe even Winnipeg are in that vein that they can certainly give them a run. But there's not as many teams can take down a Florida team, even if they're banged up.
Josh, before I let you go, you said 14 games tonight here. Anything for people to blindly follow?
Oh, come over, follow my ex, Covers_Josh. All I'm sitting there doing is betting on every possible correlated line mate and power play one pairing in every game. It's my favorite way to bet hockey. It makes the most sense. I'm getting guys like Jack Quinn and Ryan McLeod at plus 390 to each get a point when that can probably happen in one outcome. I mean, there's guys, the second line, the top line, top PP in Philadelphia, Zegras, Tippett, and Konechny, all playing first line, all playing power play one. It's a tough matchup versus Florida, but they're at home. All those three to get a point, plus 525. That's like getting like a wide receiver 4 touchdown price. Hockey, low liquidity within the market, great prices, and stay away from shot on goal markets. If you're there, stay away from them. If you're betting money lines in hockey, you're probably a little crazy too, unless you're betting on big money line dogs. Plus 190 Calgary last night was a good winner, but hockey is a game of heavy variance. Bet on points, bet on combinations of guys who are going to skate together the majority of their 20 minutes, and look for them to get points each. That's what I've had the most success betting hockey with.
Josh, appreciate your time on the program today. Have a great day.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Once again, he is Josh Inglis, NHL writer for Covers.com. On the other side of the break, though, we'll get back into the NFL, and we'll have our top 5. I guess I got to come up with a better name for top 5 power rankings. Evans Risers. Kayla doesn't have a good, fun name, so we'll get into that, though, on the other side of the break right here on the lunch break on KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. BABBEL.com.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
At Nationwide Vision, we help you step into every moment clearly and confidently. From quality eyewear and comfortable contact lenses to comprehensive exams and professional fittings, we make finding your focus a more enjoyable experience than ever. Right now, buy one pair of glasses and get the second one free, so you can live bolder, look sharper, and see better. Schedule an appointment today to find your focus.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. When it comes to your comfort, results matter. That's why Precision has been voted the #1 ranked AC company in the Valley for over a decade, delivering the best installation in the state. And now's the perfect time to upgrade. Get $2,500 off a new AC unit, plus receive the Valley's only 10-year workmanship warranty. Protect your home, lower your stress, stay comfortable all year long. Make the Precision decision today. Call us at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
James out west.
Mike Trout became the 59th player to hit his 400th home run, the home run record holder for the Angels. I was going to quiz you. Who do you think the number 2 is on the list for all-time home runs for the Anaheim Angels?
I would assume it's Shohei Ohtani.
Nope, Tim Salmon.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
299 for Tim Salmon. Mike Trout got 101 more than the next
Talk about
guy.
naming a random MLB player that had a really good career.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
wonderful.
I loved watching Tim Salmon, bro. I'm
299
about to
home runs.
cut together some Tim Salmon highlights.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Welcome back to the lunch break here on KDOS AM 1060. Kayla Mortellaro filling in for Chris Schubert, who's off enjoying his honeymoon. Evan behind the glass, making sure that everything is running smoothly. So it's time for our top 5 NFL power rankings. I will get started here. And, you know, I didn't love the back and forth that I had in my head about all of this, but I ended up going number 5 with the Buffalo Bills. I know that they are 4-1. They suffered their first loss on Sunday Night Football to a division opponent in the New England Patriots. And division opponents, they always play you a little bit tougher sometimes. Causes, though, for concern on defense that I detailed in yesterday's show. They're giving up 145.6 yards per game on the ground. And they're certainly never out of any game, though, because of Josh Allen and just how good he is on the offensive side of the ball.
When you have the best quarterback in the league, it's hard not to put you anywhere. It's hard to put you anywhere below 5. And that's kind of the story for the Bills. I have them a little higher up on my list. My number 5 team is actually the Indianapolis Colts. Off to a 4-1 start. Daniel Jones has been guns a-blazing, playing really well. That offense is really clicking. And they just feel like they continue to win games. They beat Denver early in the year. Obviously, they took it to the Raiders. They had a heartbreaking loss against the Rams in a game, let's face it, they should have won, similar to how the Cardinals lost with A.D. Mitchell fumbling out of the back of the end zone, getting a holding call on a big 70-yard touchdown run. And I understand the game could have gone differently, but it certainly feels if those 2 plays go their way, the Colts are 5-0.
I do have the Colts as well. We'll wait till we get to that number for them. Number 4 on my list, though, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 4-1 on the season. They're getting it done in these weird end-of-game field goals, though, but it's Baker Mayfield playing well, playing with confidence, playing and connecting with Emeka Egbuka without Mike Evans and without Chris Godwin to start the year. And this is an interesting little statistic here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have scored at least 20 points in 20 straight games, which is the league's longest streak. Defensively, though, the Bucs are also about the middle of the pack, giving up about 26.4 points per game. But I have number 4 on my list is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So do I, and I think you said it best. They find ways to win these football games. They're not always pretty. Most of the time, it's going to be a last-second field goal, or it's going to come down to a last-second field goal. But for the Bucs, they're 4-1. They win in 2-minute situations and at the end of the game. And so for me, it's hard not to put them in the top 5. I have them at 4 as well.
Number 3 for me is those Indianapolis Colts coming in as a team at 4-1. They just seem to be really balanced. You have Jonathan Taylor, who is leading the NFL right now in yards with 480 yards on 94 carries and 6 touchdowns. Also a fun little tidbit. He has clocked the fastest ball carrier time this season so far with his week 2 run at 22.38 miles per hour. But defensively, the Colts are giving up 217 passing yards per game, 98 yards on the ground per game. So they're getting it done defensively as well. And it also is fueling this insane plus 74-point differential. That just shows how balanced and good they're playing on both sides of the football.
My number 3, we did the old flip-flop. I have the Buffalo Bills, and I think it's just for the reasons that we talked about. Josh Allen, it's too much for me to put them lower. I thought they lost a heartbreaker to the Colts, but they certainly were, to the Patriots, but they were certainly in that game. And they're just going to be the team to beat in the AFC. I think when you talk about the Colts, to this point, they've been the most complete team in the AFC, which is crazy to say. But the Bills are still, to me, the best team in the AFC.
I think 2 things to also kind of fuel your point. The Bills had 3 turnovers in that game, which is pretty rare for them to do that. And then 2, at this point, the Colts still have to kind of prove it, where the Bills have proved it for several years with Josh Allen as quarterback. Number 2 for me is the Philadelphia Eagles. I know they're coming off their first loss as well, but they're 4-1 on the year. It also just seems like every year there's drama at this part of the year with them. This time, A.J. Brown not getting the football. Saquon Barkley, though, isn't having the production that he had to the start of last year, so seeing how he's going to get rolling. But this is a solid football team, and until they prove otherwise, they just seem to be slow starters in the month of September, early part of October.
Yeah, for me, my number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. My number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. I've had them at 1 the entire season. They're the defending Super Bowl champions, and until proven otherwise, I couldn't move them. It's a tough loss to the Broncos, and I think it shows some of the holes maybe this team does have on offense, especially, right? I think Kevin Patullo has called a very vanilla offense to this point, and it's the reason I have moved them down to 2.
Number 1 for me is the Detroit Lions. It kind of feels like week 1 was a fluke. Because what we were seeing so far is 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions from Jared Goff. Offensively, they have scored 174 points through 5 games, which is the most in franchise history.
Yeah, it was a stat coming into the year for the Lions that to this point, Jared Goff had only won 1 game when his play caller wasn't named Sean McVay or Ben Johnson. And that point got proven in week number 1. And so there was a lot of criticism of what the Lions had done in game 1. I totally get it, and they got crushed by the Packers, but they've been great since. The Lions are my number 1 team as well. Until proven otherwise, I think they're the cream of the crop in the National Football League. That will switch week to week, though, because the Eagles and the Lions, to me, are just a step above the rest.
Well, and certainly, I mean, I know that we've talked about it with the Chiefs 2-3, and they find themselves in a little prickly situation, and so they're going to maybe come out with that little extra motivation on Sunday night. So that'll be interesting for the Lions to go into Kansas City and see how they can get that done. We will step aside, though, here on the lunch break and make room for buy or sell on the other side. Evan, Kayla here with you on KDOS AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. For more than 50 years, the Fiesta Sports Foundation has delivered world-class events while giving back to Arizona communities. One example is their support of youth programs across the state. Just last year, their efforts reached more than 470,000 young people throughout Arizona, and they're just getting started. See how you can help at fiestasportsfoundation.org. That's fiestasportsfoundation.org. This message is brought to you by the Fiesta Sports Foundation. The season never ends.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
The year-end savings have arrived at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Right now, you can receive a 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard right.
0% APR for 60 months on the 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander, Outlander Sport, Outlander PHEV, and Eclipse Cross. Think how much you'll save when you pay no interest. Come see us at the Scottsdale Auto Show at the 101 in Indian School.
The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Go to scottsdalemitsubishi.com for full details on approved credit, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
I got my first real six-string.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrapping up hour number one of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060 with the KDUS 1060 app as well as on the YouTube stream. But it's that time of the hour. It is time for buy or sell.
All right, buy or sell today. We got some good ones for you. We'll start with baseball, Kayla.
Okay.
Either the Phillies or the Cubs force a Game 5.
I am going to sell it.
Taking the Brewers and the Dodgers tonight.
I am. I think from a standpoint of the Brewers, their bats are just too formidable. That's just going to be too much. And for the Dodgers tonight, I know you have Christopher Sanchez going, and so maybe it's not until you get him out of the lineup that you're able to get the Dodgers bats over the line.
The Yankees will make major changes after another team celebrates at Yankee Stadium.
I'm going to buy that, right? The Yankees are they're too. They have too much pride, too much tradition, too much history to just keep kind of floundering and toiling. They need to make a lot of, I think, different changes in terms of how they're structuring and how they're rounding out the players that they have on their team. And that probably starts with general manager moves as well as maybe the manager himself.
Jacoby Brissett, if he starts for the Cardinals, will score the most points the Cardinals have scored all season.
Oh, man. Well, they are going up against a Colts defense, though, so I'm gonna buy that, though, because why not? Jacoby Brissett, he can push the ball down the field. Maybe they just know they have to do something. They realize they got to do something different, get the playmakers involved. Too many people were upset with what happened on Sunday. You can't have an opportunity slip before you know it. You're 2-5 and the season is over. That'll do it for hour number 1. Hour number 2 is coming up on the other side of the break. It is the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Every month in Arizona, there are a reported 4 to 6 infants that die in an unsafe sleep environment. If you have a baby under 1 year of age, make sure you follow the ABCs of safe sleep every time they nap or sleep. Alone. Babies should sleep alone with nothing surrounding them. Back. Always lay babies on their back to sleep. Crib. A crib is the safest place for baby to sleep. To learn more, visit azdcs.gov/safe sleep.
Millions of fans agree. This Christmas tradition rocks. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert, presenting the Ghosts of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO and more. November 30th, 2 shows, 3 and 7:30 p.m. PHX Arena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, presented by 100.7 KSLX.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days. And I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com. That's AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
Savor the flavor.
Del Dorado chicken.
Del, yeah.
And that concludes my presentation on what I'd like for dinner.
Wow, that was something.
Thank you.
But honestly, you had me at Del Taco.
Del Taco's new Del Dorado chicken packs layers on layers of flavor with premium ingredients like our new salsa roja, spicy jack cheese, and freshly grilled marinated chicken. Del Dorado chicken, only at Del Taco.
Del, yeah.
Price and participation may vary.
Want something fast and fresh for lunch? Try the Peter Piper Pizza all-you-can-eat weekday lunch buffet. Available from 11 to 2 every Monday through Friday, Peter Piper Pizza's lunch buffet is loaded with delicious pizza, fresh chopped salad, garlic cheese bread, and our famous cinnamon crunch dessert. Our dough is made from scratch every day and topped with real mozzarella cheese and the freshest ingredients. For the best all-you-can-eat pizza and salad lunch buffet in town, head to Peter Piper Pizza from 11 to 2 every Monday through Friday. At Peter Piper Pizza, the fun is baked in.
Scottsdale's so nice we're doing it twice. October 15 through 18 at Westworld. The Fall Auction, presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Hundreds of collector cars in the all-new indoor Barrett-Jackson Fan Zone. Food, drinks, and live entertainment. Get tickets now at barrett-jackson.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Break here on KDUS AM 1060. Kayla Mortellaro here with you, filling in for Chris Schubert, who is off enjoying his honeymoon. Evan behind the glass. Still can barely see Evan, but I know he's there. We were set to have Chris Bizziganano, the Giants insider, around 12:15, 12:20 to chat Giants football. Cam Scattaboo. We'll see if he's going to continue to have the workload that he had after Tyrone Tracy went out with an injury, and he's expected to be back, plus some Thursday night football conversation with Chris a little bit later on in the hour. But first, let's talk about the news of today and some bit of Cardinals topics as well. So Kyler Murray, it was reported earlier that he was not practicing today. So that's 2 days in a row that he has not practiced with that foot injury that he suffered in Sunday's contest. So that means could be Jacoby Brissett time. So that's something obviously that we'll be continuing to monitor here, but Thursday being a very pivotal day, whether or not you're going to be playing playing on Sunday. Some takeaways, though, from head coach Jonathan Gannon, who met the media yesterday. He was asked about Marvin Harrison Jr. having a rough stretch to start the year and how has he done as the season has progressed here. Gannon said, quote, excellent. Yeah, he's doing well. Got to continue to get him the ball. He's going to impact the game. I really liked his week of practice, the things that he was working on, because coming from week 3 to week 4, we really didn't get to practice. So really last week was kind of his first week of practice there, some things that we adjusted a little bit, things that he was cognizant of, and I think showed up in the game. So I think it is a stepping stone for him and look forward to him playing well on Sunday. So some stats, though, for Marvin Harrison Jr. through 5 weeks. His average catch percentage, 62.5%. So I wanted to kind of just get a baseline of some of the other wide receivers in the league and their catch percentages. Emeka Egbuka is someone that we has highlighted, both coming from Ohio State and how he's flourishing in his rookie season with Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's at 65.79% catch percentage. Meanwhile, Puka Nacua is at 83.87%. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 85.37%. George Pickens at 62.16%. The thing that immediately popped in my head, though, was what you had said earlier this week about how when you watch Puka Nacua play and what the Rams are doing, they are specifically designing plays for Puka. They are specifically designing ways in which to get him open and that he is therefore then wide open. And we don't really see that with Marvin Harrison Jr. In terms of what they're trying to do and how to get him involved in the passing game. I realize that they don't play the same type of position, but Marv has moved around a lot. There's a lot of times he's in the slot. There's a lot of times he's on the outside. So there are ways, though, to get your playmaker, your first-round draft pick, more involved. His average separation is 2.7 yards. That's not terrible. That's not great. When it comes, though, to Marvin Harrison Jr., do you think having Jacoby Brissett throw him the football, if that's the case, in the direction that this goes on Sunday, automatically means he's more involved?
I think it has a lot to do with how does the play calling differ? And we saw it last week. I mean, 3rd and 8, they went and ran the ball. So what does it look like from a play caller, especially if it is a different quarterback? Does that change how you treat the offense because you don't have the threat of Jacoby Brissett running like you have with Kyler Murray? All of those things played a little bit of different wrinkles into how this offense of game plan would come together to face the Colts. But you just have to get him more involved. And there's been some bad drops, I understand. But at 2-3, you're trying to get this team back on the tracks. But if it doesn't get back on the tracks, you need to make sure you're getting some kind of growth out of your young players. And for Marvin Harrison Jr., if you're not going to get him targets, if you're not going to scheme him open, how is he going to get better in this offense? How are we going to see him gain confidence and become the receiver that they spent the number 4 pick in the draft on? And the same thing goes for Trey McBride. This is a guy you paid as a top-of-the-line tight end. Why? Because he is a top-of-the-line tight end. But you haven't used him in big situations. And at some point, if you want to win football games, you have to go to your best players. So if it is Jacoby Brissett, a guy who's seen a lot of football in the league for a lot of different teams, is he going to be the guy that says, okay, it's 3rd and 8 here. I got to go to Marv. I got to go to Trey McBride. I'm looking at my best players. And is that a scheme conversation a lot of the time? Or has that been Kyler Murray coming off of those guys too early? I think we'll be able to find out and kind of know what it looks like with Jacoby Brissett. If it is a Kyler Murray thing, if it is an offensive scheme thing. Personally, I think it's a combination of probably both, but we'll have some more answers if it is Jacoby Brissett who gets the start on Sunday.
Well, it's interesting. You bring up some good points here, though, in trying to dissect, and I feel like we've been trying to dissect this part of the conversation for the offense for a while now with Kyler Murray at the helm is it the offensive scheme? Is it Kyler in this particular type of construction of an offense? Is it the playmakers around him? What direction is it? And at some point, we're going to have to make a diagnosis and say, no, this is the problem, or nope, this is the problem. It is going to be interesting, though, because I feel like moving forward into this particular week, you're not going to abandon necessarily your entire offensive philosophy and your offensive identity, but also maybe you realize that you do actually have to push the ball down the field a little bit more, have some plays for Marvin Harrison Jr., have some plays for Trey McBride. Look, Marvin Harrison Jr. got off to a really good start. He had 3 really good catches there in the first half, and then he was basically silent for the rest of the game. So how does that happen, though? Why and which are you calling plays? Are you getting too conservative? Are you going away from him? Are you going away from him because the first look isn't there, or as you pointed out, he's not waiting long enough for him to kind of get open? What's happening there that we're not able to get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved beyond the first half of the football game? And so with all that in mind, though, Jacoby Brissett is a different type of quarterback than Kyler Murray. So it is going to put the opposing team's defense in different situations as to they don't have to worry about the legs of Jacoby Brissett. So is that going to change just in general what the offense is going to look like? And will it have just more success in general? We'll find out. Obviously, he hasn't been ruled out yet, and it's just speculation just because of 2 days in a row that Kyler hasn't practiced yet. A couple of other things, though. Head coach Jonathan Gannon was asked yesterday about how can you take advantage of Marvin's hot starts and the team's making adjustments on him during the game. Gannon said every game is a new game, so I think some in-game adjustments need to happen. Okay, so some in-game adjustments need to happen. Let's get those in-game adjustments to happen to get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved, Trey McBride involved in the game. How tough of a challenge is it going to be to face Indy? Gannon was asked. Yeah, they are a good football team. Obviously, I light up when I talk about Shane because I know how good he is. Being with him for those 2 years, he's a really good football coach, and he knows how to use his people, use his weapons, knows how to get the most out of the quarterback. Like I said, they have a lot of good players. Chris Ballard has done a really good job with the roster where it's at right now with a mix of vets and youth and premium players. So kind of taking a look at that, though, you have Tyquan Lewis leading the Colts with 3 sacks, Cam Bynum, Leotu Latu leading the Colts with 2 interceptions each, Danny Dimes, 1,290 yards, 6.6 completed air yards, 6 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions with a 71.3% completion percentage. Tyler Warren has been a breakout tight end for them, with 31 targets, 23 catches, 307 yards, 1 touchdown. And Michael Pittman Jr., 272 yards, 35 targets, 26 catches, and 4 touchdowns, with a ground game of Jonathan Taylor leading the NFL in yards. That's just a really good balance. So when you get into balance, though, you can kind of dictate what you want. Danny Dimes isn't necessarily having to be behind the sticks. And that's maybe something that with the Cardinals now having lost 2 of their running backs to Trey Benson might be able to come back, but James Conner's done for the year, and just what James Conner and his ability to be able to run the football do for you as a team, I think the Cardinals maybe need to just kind of try to figure out a better identity. Would that be fair to say? A better identity moving forward?
Yeah, and I think I've talked about it on the show before. They almost need to play a perfect game of football to win with the identity they want to in the roster they've constructed. To play ball control football paired with great defense, you have to be kind of perfect in some avenues of the game. And that's why it's come down to 1 or 2 plays for the Cardinals in a couple games, and they haven't been able to make the right decisions or make the play that is there, right? Like, you kick it short of the landing zone, you lose to Seattle. You get a drop on third down, you lose to San Francisco. You throw it out of the back of the end zone, that's a big mistake. You lose to the you lose this week to the Titans. And it's all of those things. And then you take a look back at week 1 and 2, and they're saying, oh my God, thank God they got out with the win, because Carolina had the ball with a chance to win the football game. And so did New Orleans had the ball with a chance to move the football game, and they were moving the ball. So to play that kind of football, you almost need to be perfect. And to not have any explosion in this offense, you need to go extended drive after extended drive. The only real explosive long touchdown play they've had all year long is the one that they fumbled. And DeMarcado drops the ball short of the goal line. So, yeah, they've had some Marv big receptions in some of those games. But as far as explosive touchdown plays, they've only had the one, and it didn't count. And so you need a spark in this offense. Otherwise, it's hard to go on extended drive after extended drive and try to win football games by doing that and playing great defense for 4 straight quarters.
I think one of the most frustrating things is Kyler is clearly an incredible athlete. Kyler can get you out of insane situations. He may be the person that runs the most around on the field for he might run 40 yards and it actually ends up being a gain of 15, but he gets you out of these situations. He makes some incredible throws, but most of that is coming out of the structure of the offense. So why is that happening? Is it because he's struggling to kind of see the field? Is he struggling to read the defenses? Is there something there that's tangibly happening? Is it the offense not putting him in a position to succeed? Or is it that the offensive scheme is really not tailored to fit best with what he can do and how he can excel? So it will be interesting to see someone who will be playing within, if Jacoby Brissett starts on Sunday, playing within the offense, and if playing within the offense has more success.
Yeah, and I think that we've been huge criticizers of Drew Petzing, and I think it's rightfully so. When you have an offense that has made the mistakes that this offense has, it's time to be critical of the offensive coordinator. When you have an offense that doesn't get the ball to their best players, it's time to be critical. You're going to have an answer if Brissett does play. And listen, all of this is if Brissett does play. Right. You're going to have an answer of whether it's the offensive coordinator or we think the quarterback is coming off these guys too soon. I think when you break down the all-22 and you sit down and watch the tape, there are plays out there to be had, and Kyler Murray is missing some of them. Are all of them schemed up for Marv or for Trey McBride? Are all of them the most creative play designed in the NFL this week? No, that's just not going to be what Drew Petzing is. But when you have a quarterback like Kyler Murray, you can play off script a little bit. And the Cardinals have had no success doing that this year. So what is it going to look like if they stay on script, get the ball to their playmakers? Maybe Jacoby Brissett is able to make those reads, get the ball in the hands of Marvin Harrison Jr., get the ball in the hands of Trey McBride. What does the offense look like then? Is it a Drew Petzing problem? Is it a quarterback problem? Not going to say we're going to have an answer, but we may have a better peek into the window as to what the real problem is.
I was previously on the side of you could still win with Kyler, that what he can do is such an X factor that you can find ways to continue to win with him. And there certainly was a lot of criticism before this particular coaching staff got here, and you had such fast starts to offensive plays. And then by week 6 or so, you started to see that the offense wasn't moving as well because it was like the defenses had sort of figured out the concepts and what they were trying to do. And so they moved in a different direction as to what they wanted and how they're establishing it. So we can clearly see this team was built on, we're going to run the football first. That James Conner had a lot of success, but unfortunately now he's not here. So now how are you going to make adjustments, and can you make adjustments for that? And I think, though, as time is going along here, it's starting to really showcase itself that I am not right, that I don't know that we can win it all, win in the bigger moments, win in the games with Kyler at the helm, because one, it doesn't appear like the coaching staff trusts him to be in those situations. And that's the biggest thing. If they're not putting the ball in your hand for us to see how it all unfolds, that says volumes to me as to whether or not the offense can win, because they don't believe that he's the guy for the position.
Yeah, and that will be the end-all, be-all conversation. I said it to you after we got the report that Kyler Murray didn't practice today. How good does this offense need to look before people start asking, why aren't they starting Jacoby Brissett? I don't even think they have to look that great for that question to come up. And so that's going to be the biggest talking point if Jacoby Brissett does play. How does this offense look? Does it look better under Jacoby than it did under Kyler? Is it an offensive coordinator problem or is it a quarterback problem? And all of that may come to the surface all of a sudden if they have a really explosive offensive game against the Colts. And they don't even have to win, but if they score more than 27 points, people are going to start asking questions.
You're not wrong there. We will step aside, though, here. We'll keep it with the theme of the NFL, but we'll get a Giants insider conversation for Thursday Night Football, find out how Cam, I was trying to combine the name there, Cam Scattaboo is doing in New York, if he's going to continue to get the production now that Tyrone Tracy is coming back as well. So we'll do that all on the other side of the break. It is the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarterback. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
You buckle them in, but are they really protected? In Arizona, child passenger safety starts with the right car seat. Double check that your child is in the proper seat based on their age and size, and that it's correctly installed. The wrong fit or a loose seat can put your child at serious risk. Need help installing your car seat? Certified technicians can help for free. Learn more at gohs.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
At Winco, we're working to save you money. Big savings on top quality meat, produce, seafood, and deli. Bakery fresh breads, cakes, and cookies made daily in store. Low prices on top quality national brands and thousands of our own private label. In every aisle, every department, every day.
9 stores in the Phoenix area, including the new Santan Valley location.
If you could rewind 10 years, what would you do differently? Buy Apple stock at $20? Skip the Ghost Pepper Challenge? Maybe even rethink the skinny jeans. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Some regrets are harmless, termite damage isn't. You can't go back in time, but you can keep termites from eating your future. Call 602 Blue Sky today for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pest.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, Saturday, October 25th. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile-Up. Tickets from $30. On sale now at livenation.com. A day to remember. Yellow Card, part of the American First Credit Union Concert Series.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Bill Belichick's return to the sidelines was supposed to be one of the sport's most fascinating experiments. A football mastermind testing his brilliance in the unpredictable world of college football. But less than 6 games into his stint at North Carolina, reports have surfaced that Belichick is already exploring an exit strategy. It hasn't exactly been sunshine and rainbows for Chapel Bill. The Heels have struggled to find consistency on either side of the ball. The idea that he's considering an early exit feels strange, maybe even a little ominous. And it doesn't smell like quitting. It smells like something bigger, whether it's internal tension, frustration with the college model, or something entirely behind the curtain no one quite knows yet. These reports remain unconfirmed. But for now, we're left waiting and wondering what's next for an NFL legend. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Mako's running a paint sale right now, starting at just $499. How about that? Now, if you've been thinking about maybe doing something with your car, don't pass up this opportunity, okay? There's dents, dings, chip paint. Mako's seen it all. But for this price, take advantage of that, and you could give your ride a fresh look. Free estimate. They'll work with your budget. They'll get the job done fast. No pressure, no judgment, a fresh start, and you're going to have a national warranty to accompany it. And they're community-based, great people to work with, somebody you can trust to make your car look nice. A fresh ride. They've been doing it for over 50 years, and it's easier than ever for you to take advantage of this. Your car could use a little love. Now's the time. But don't wait. These paint sales will not last long. Visit Mako, that's MAACO.com, and find the nearest location. Schedule that free estimate. And with the paint sale starting at just $499, your car is going to look awesome. Better get Mako.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
Even if Troy Aikman pretty much said the NFL product sucked last night, he's not wrong. I thought this was supposed to be a brand new Jets. They're more dysfunctional and more undisciplined than ever. You know what would actually be brand new for the Jets? A new head coach starting 0-5. That has never happened, but it looks like there's a very good chance it's about to happen.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Welcome back to the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. As always, follow along with the KDOS 1060 app as well as on the stream, YouTube, KDOS AM 1060. We're popping on out to the hotline. Get some help with the New York Giants and the Thursday Night Football contest tonight. Chris Bisigano from the Giants Insider. Chris, appreciate the time on the show. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? I'm just getting a little ready. I'm getting ready for a little Thursday Night Football in a few hours.
I love it. I love it. So the Giants, though, they made a switch to Jackson Dart. It was pretty obvious to all of us that Russell Wilson, the time has passed. So through 2 starts, though, what are you seeing from Dart that is an immediate improvement and other areas that he still has some room for growth?
Well, the improvement is that Jackson stays in the pocket. Okay, and he can hurt you with his legs. I mean, Russell basically was a throw down outside the number type quarterback, throw it down the field outside the number, where Jackson is more in the middle of the field and he can hurt you with his legs. And he stays in the pocket with his eyes downfield when the pressure's collapsing on him by his feet in the pocket and all that. Well, Russell was kind of like ducking his head, looking to get the heck out of there when pressure started mounting. So that's one big difference right there. As far as improvement, well, look, you know, he's just like Jackson last week. He kind of forced the ball, although it was 4th down. He doesn't have much help receiver-wise, especially this week. Slayton's going to be down, too. He's not playing tonight. Obviously, the rookie warts, right? Reading the defense is fast. You know, he'll have some issues with that. And the typical rookie stuff where he thinks he might see one defense on a post-snap read where it's not quite what he thinks and all that. But I tell you what, he has provided energy with this offense, and it was much needed because Russell just threw that Cowboy game out the window, and he was basically just wasn't getting it done, especially in the red zone.
Has there been any thought to trading either Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston now that they have made the move to Dart?
Well, Jameis Winston, you kind of thought maybe it might happen this week when the Bengals went on the trade market, but there was, from my understanding, there was no interest in Jameis from Zach Taylor and the Bengals. They went with Flacco, as you know. Look, I don't see Russell being here the next, what are we, 1-5, the next 12 weeks. I don't see it happening. I think something will be done. Either he gets released in the next few weeks give him a chance to hook on with somebody, or possibly a team comes in and says, hey, we're looking for a veteran, our guy went down or something like that. So as far as hearing anything about any teams interested in Russell, no, I have not heard that, but that could change before the deadline at the end of the month.
You talked about it, though, that Jackson Dart doesn't have a whole lot of wide receivers to throw to. We know what happened to Malik Neighbors. We also know, as you mentioned, Slayton's not going to be playing tonight. So with that in mind, is it possible that Dable may actually want Jackson Dart to run a little bit more to try to help open up the offense?
Well, no matter who's in there, I mean, even if Malik was playing, the zone read is going to be a part of the package with Jackson Dart. That's something Dable loves. He loves that zone read, RPOs, and all that. So that's going to be part of it, no matter who was playing. So to say like, oh, maybe he's going to make a run more. No, what they do is what they're going to see last week. You're probably going to see a lot of 12 personnel again, leaning on a tight end and Bellinger. But no matter what, it could be Malik Neighbors. It could have the full slate of receivers. So Jackson Dart's legs is always going to be part of the offensive game plan.
For Malik Neighbors, though, him not being in the lineup, how much does that impact, though, Jackson Dart's growth?
Oh, it impacts it a lot. I mean, you know, look, Malik would have been his go-to guy. I mean, rightfully so. Right? Malik Neighbors is a dynamic talent. And the little time they played together, you saw it, right? You saw it. I mean, Jackson was targeting Malik. And so when you don't have that legit number one receiver, obviously it's going to stunt your growth in the passing game. And then last week, you know, there was times Dart looked left, looked right, went through his reads, couldn't find anybody open, had to take off, or had to do a quick check down because there was nobody open down. Because the Giants just don't have the receivers, you know. And then the one guy they have is basically like a 3 in Darius Slayton. They don't have him tonight, so they're down to Wandale, who's, like a 2B type guy, 3 himself. So, look, it's going to hurt, no question about it. You know, you will like to see the young man Dart have a legit number one receiver for the rest of the season for his first year, but obviously we know that's not going to be the case.
So here in Arizona, we are accustomed to Cam Scatterbo. We know all about him and what he can do.
Yeah, I know you know about him.
So first of all, how has Cam been received in New York?
Oh, he's been a fan favorite from the first day of camp. I mean, you guys know his personality. You know, Cam is different. You know, Cam is very loud. He's always yelling. He's always pumped up. He loves the game of football. He's going at it with opponents. Last week, he's going at it with Demario Davis in a good way, you know, the competition-wise. He's not afraid of anybody. The fans absolutely love him. I see Scatterbo jerseys all over the place in the area. I mean, look, I'm not surprising you. He has that type of personality where you just absolutely love the kid, and he's been accepted in the locker room by veterans, by the coach. Dable absolutely loves him. How could you not, right? How could you not love Cam? I mean, he's the guy that runs through a wall over the game for you. So, yeah, it's been a big it's been a big love fest here with the Giants fans and him.
So Tyrone Tracy, though, was the running back. He went out, expected to be back in some capacity tonight as well. So when it comes to these two now, will they be splitting reps? Kind of what can we expect from Cam and Tracy?
I think you'll see both of them. You know, I think Tyrone's going to get his touches, and Cam is going to get his touches in different series or in red zone packages or short yardage. So they're both going to get their touches, sort of like what happened in the first few weeks before Tyrone got hurt. Look, Tyrone's a different type of back. You know, Cam's going to slam it up in there, although I'll tell you, I have to admit, he has great vision and great feet in that second level, Cam. But Tyrone's a different type of back, so it's a nice 1-2 complement, you know, different styles. They're both going to get their touches. It's not like, you know, Tyrone's back, so Cam's going to get 3-4 touches and that's it. No, he's going to be a big part of the game plan. He will be a big part of the plan every week. And how could you not make Cam part of the game plan? He's a good receiving back. He gets it up in there short. They're both going to get their touches.
Brian Burns. I mean, what can you say about Brian Burns? 5 sacks so far in the season, 3 passes defended, 1 forced fumble. Kayvon Thibodeau actually has 2.5 sacks as well. So with the Eagles' offensive line and kind of what's been happening with them, how impactful can Brian Burns and that defensive front be tonight?
Well, look, Mulata and Lane Johnson are still playing real good football. So why I look for the Giants, I think this could be like an Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence type game. I think the interior of the Eagles' offensive line is a little bit of a question mark. Landon Dickinson not playing tonight. So they're going to go probably with Toss, the backup left guard. But that's where you see the Giants make an impact tonight. Abdul Carter lines up on that 3 technique a lot. He has his hand in the dirt. Then you got Dexter Lawrence. So they could maybe do some things at the feet of Jalen Hurts, up the middle tonight. Dexter Lawrence, look, he was sick last week. He came into the season not in the best shape. He's kind of getting around 100% now. He hasn't had that Dexter Lawrence type game yet. And everybody's kind of sitting back waiting for it. I think tonight could be that type of game for Dexter where he could dominate in the interior of that line. As far as Brian Burns, look, you're right. Burns has been phenomenal. 5 sacks, TFLs. He's been great. So no matter who lines up against him, you have to like Burns' chances too. So we'll see how that works out. But watch the interior of the line tonight. I think Dexter Lawrence could have a pretty good game tonight. And Abdul Carter, even though he has a half a sack, he's had a lot of pressures. He's been close a lot. And with the way Jalen Hurts kind of holds on the ball a lot, looking to make that play with his legs or waiting for that receiver downfield, whatever it might be, tonight could be the night maybe Abdul gets 1 or 2.
So Saquon Barkley, I mean, he's been back since he left, but he's coming back again. He's off to a little bit of a slower start this year than last. 83 carries, 267 yards for him, 3 touchdowns. He also does have the knee injury, but he is expected to play. So when it comes to slowing down the run and slowing down Saquon Barkley, does that feel like a matchup that the defense can also kind of corral him again?
Well, that remains to be seen because the Giants have not been good against the run. Last week they had their first game where they actually played the run well. Last year, Barkley absolutely destroyed him the one game. He could have ran for 260 if he really wanted to. So that's going to be the big matchup tonight, too. Can they slow Barkley down? And the way it's been around here, well, it's been a get right for a lot of teams when they play the Giants. The Eagles have not had a good running game this year yet. Will tonight be the night they get it rolling? I mean, Barkley, as you know, is going to be very inspired against his old team. He left here very bitter. I know documentaries are out now. He's talking, saying this and that. So he's going to want to show the Giants once again that you should have re-signed me, and I expect him to have a pretty good game tonight.
On that side of the equation as well, so Saquon has some hard feelings, obviously, with New York. How do the fans react in Saquon? Because it wasn't necessarily him that didn't want to come back. The front office said no, thank you.
Well, after the year he had last year, needless to say, the fan base, most of them were like, once again, the Giants do the wrong thing, So there's a lot of people. I think as of now, this year, a lot of people moved past that now. I had enough of the Saquon stuff. I know I have. Last year was for the talk shows and all that. This year, everybody's kind of like, okay, enough. All right, let's move on. But hey, look, when you see the year he had last year, 2,000 yards, a Super Bowl ring, Giants fans chalk it up to like, well, another wrong move the organization made. And that's kind of like the feel last year, and it's kind of carried over into this year. But I think I think everybody's kind of moved on, like, enough now with the Saquon stuff. But, I know the documentary comes out tonight or something, so it'll kind of be out there again. But everybody wants to see what he does in the field, and they hope, obviously, to contain Saquon so he doesn't go crazy tonight and open it up for Jalen.
So when it comes to tonight, though, I often say throw out all logic on a Thursday night because especially when you're playing a division opponent, anything can really happen. So if we are going to try to put some logic into it, what do the Giants need to do? What are the keys to success to pull off a win?
Well, one of them is what we just talked about. They're going to have to, kind of slow down Saquon. They can't let Saquon have a monster game. And look, they're going to need some turnovers. Okay, they're going to need some turnovers like the way they beat the Chargers a few weeks ago. The defense got them 2 turnovers in plus territory. The offense started in plus territory. That's what they're going to need again tonight. So last week they were -5, and the greatest NFL teams in the world, they're not going to win games being -5 in turnovers, including giving up a touchdown. So the Giants are going to have to be like that +2 like thing where defense kind of sets them up maybe in plus territory one time, hey, it doesn't hurt to even get a defensive touchdown, as we saw last week against them, what the Saints did to them. To me, that's what they're going to need to pull off the upset tonight.
And final question here for you. Is Brian Daboll coaching for his job, or is it because they made the investment in drafting Dart, starting him now, that they're giving some sort of license here to Daboll?
You mean, is he coaching for his job right now or at the end of the year?
End of the year.
Oh, well, listen, the bottom line is the record is what it is. So if the Giants finish 3-14 or 4-13 or something around those lines, or win 2 games, it's going to be a hard time justifying, no matter what. Even though they drafted Dart and Daboll loves Dart, and they didn't want to do it to a new quarterback again. But if Brian did, team surviving.
Chris, greatly appreciate you taking some time. I hope you enjoy the game tonight.
I will, and I hope you enjoyed it. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much. Once again, he is Chris Bizignano from the Giants Insider here on KDOS AM 1060. We will get into a little bit more about Thursday Night Football on the other side of the break. It is the lunch break right here on KDOS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If you were on my football team and you don't carry the football through the goal line, I want you to keep running into the locker room. Take off your helmet because you're never wearing it on my football team again. The only thing I liked was at least a response from head coach Jonathan Gannon to either let him know or encourage him with fire, fury, and vengeance in his face.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
One last match, one unforgettable night. The regular season finale is here as Phoenix Rising hosts San Antonio FC on Saturday, October 18th at 7 p.m. It's Fan Appreciation Night with special drink and food deals and end-of-season merchandise sales all night long. Celebrate the season, cheer on the squad, and send Rising into the playoffs in style. Tickets start at just $15. Log yours in now at phxrisingfc.com. Final match, full stadium. Let's rise together.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hey, Mr. C, it's me. Well, I just picked up the ring. I actually went to Hellsberg. Thanks for that recommendation. Kate's gonna love that hers is from the same jeweler you got Mrs. C's ring from. They were so helpful throughout the whole process. They even knew your family by name. And the ring looks great. Anyways, I just couldn't wait to let you guys know. Call me back and wish me luck.
Hellsberg, designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
And now, name something dads can do at the Arizona State Fair.
Have your first kiss on the sky ride.
Yes!
Hold purses and a beer and a turkey leg and still look cool.
Yes, you are correct.
The 2025 Arizona State Fair, open at noon Thursdays through Sundays in October. Check out azstatefair.com for tickets.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Welcome back to the lunch break here on KDOS AM 1060. Kayla Mortellaro filling in for Chris Schubert, who's off enjoying his honeymoon. And we have some Thursday night football tonight. We just had a conversation with Chris Bisignano from the Giants Insider on this contest here with the Eagles -7.5, Giants +7.5, over-under sitting at 40.5. So, Evan, I guess I should probably preface here that I am a person who has found success in betting some teasers, and I understand the math behind it now.
I love it.
Yep. Especially though, like I get it, the juice to the way that the books are making it now. Sometimes you might think it might not be profitable, but I'm just doing it to have some fun. So this would typically be a leg that I would feel good about with the Giants and teasing them down. However, I am like off Thursday night football because crazy things happen. And I think none other than just last Thursday with the Rams and the 49ers, and the 49ers somehow pulling off a victory with no healthy players signifies that like I can't get involved in a Thursday night contest. So that's just kind of it would have normally been a leg of a teaser, but I can't do it. It's Thursday night.
No, it's such a weird thing in the NFL that Thursday night always seems to have these upsets, and it's a big thing because of the short week, right? You can come out, you can take advantage of the short week. Some of these teams don't have a full week off to game plan and all of that. And for the Eagles, they're coming off a loss against the Broncos, and the Giants, they're coming off a loss in New Orleans. So it's an interesting one. I tend to take the better team on Thursday night football. There is room for the upset, but just the more talent is in Philadelphia's hands. The line is at 7.5. While it is large, I do see the Eagles covering the 7.5. It's a young quarterback against a good Eagles defense. I think the Eagles need to get some things going offensively. They're going to want to show that, hey, we can throw the ball, we can get the ball to AJ. All those questions in the media that have come out, the Eagles typically throughout their history under Nick Sirianni are a little bit of panderers. They hear the noise, they then throw that at you the next week. They haven't done that to this point this year. I do expect that to happen at some point. So I will take the Eagles. I think they, after a loss, need a get-right game. And he wasn't lying, Chris, when he says that most of the get-right games come against the Giants over the last few years. That has been a trend, and I think that will continue.
Well, I mean, I have a statistic here to make your point. The Giants are on an 8-game losing streak in the NFC East, which is the longest in the NFL by any team within its own division. Also, the last time the Giants beat the Eagles on prime time, guess who was the quarterback?
The last time has to be no, it was Daniel Jones on Thursday Night Football.
Oh, well, then maybe this statistic is wrong because I had Donovan McNabb.
For the Eagles?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The last time they did it in prime time was Donovan McNabb quarterbacking the Eagles.
You might be right. No, because the long Daniel Jones game run, the Eagles ended up winning in overtime on a Zach Ertz slant.
Okay, so then,
I think that's right. I think
that's correct then, because, the last time the Giants beat the Eagles was Donovan McNabb was the quarterback then in a primetime game. I do think, though, that this is an opportunity, though, for Saquon to get going. I understand he does have the knee injury. If he is going to play, though, on a short week, I think then he's healthy enough to play. Because if it was kind of borderline on a short week, they're not running him out there then. So I do think that they have an opportunity to kind of get that ground game going, just because of the holes on the defensive side of the ball with what they're doing, giving up on the ground. But then to your point, looking at trying to get AJ Brown involved, at some point, he's going to want the football. So are you going in a direction though of looking at his props? I think I saw it at like 64.5 or something like that. Are you believing in it that much?
I don't know. It's tough to say. The Eagles' offense has been strange at times, and I think it comes back to the design of the offense currently. It feels very vanilla, very bland, and you can get away with that when you have the Eagles, the talent the Eagles do. On the other hand, though, it has hindered their ability to get the ball to their best playmakers. We saw A.J. Brown come alive in the second half of the Rams game, but other than that, when have you really seen him come alive? When have you seen them take their chances to, as Joe Davis referred to him, they're a transformer on the outside? I think they will do that tonight. The other conversation, though, is if they get up early on the Giants, are they going to continue to pound the rock? And that's probably what they will do. That's what the Eagles want to do. And with an injury to Saquon, are they going to be leaning on him? They haven't really done that in the last few weeks. We saw it this week. They really didn't lean on Saquon in a loss to the Broncos. So what are they going to come out and do offensively? Are they going to make changes? It's been a short week, so probably not. Are we going to see them get more receivers involved? It'll be interesting to see it all. They should take advantage of this matchup. This is a get-right game, and this feels like a big game for Kevin Patullo because let's face it, the Eagles 2 years ago had that collapse where they were winning some games early in the season, but the offense didn't always look great. And then they had the second half collapse because it felt like people had really figured them out. The Eagles don't want that to happen again. They're an organization that they're quick to make changes. And so for Kevin Patullo, it's week 6. This really could be a conversation that he might be coaching for his job tonight.
Wow, as a first year coordinator here, moving right along.
Yeah, and I think they did the same with Brian Johnson. They let him finish the year, and they saw how that ended. And so then they made the changes after 1 year to Kellen Moore. They go to make go win the Super Bowl, and Kellen Moore takes the job in New Orleans, and they just don't like what they've seen out of Kevin Patullo to this point. And knowing the general manager, knowing the Eagles ownership, they're quick to make changes, right? They made the change from Doug Peterson to Nick Sirianni. Doug Peterson won them a Super Bowl a few years prior, and they were not hesitant to make that change. So if this offense continues to struggle and not get the ball in the hands of their best players, I don't think it's impossible for this team to make a change.
Well, it certainly is interesting as well because I think, yes, they are 4-1, but on both sides of the ball, they are losing the yards battle. Teams are outgaining them in yardage than what they are able to put up, but somehow at the end of the day, the score is Eagles on top to the tune of a 4-1 record. A couple of other things that kind of caught my eye with 0 wide receivers basically now available for Jackson Dart. You'd have to think that means Jalen Hyatt might have a chance of getting a long ball thrown his way. So maybe looking at his reception props might be something of interest if interested in getting involved in the Thursday night contest. In addition to Cam Scattaboo, I think his numbers were like 46.5 yards on the ground, so taking the over there on Cam being able to run the football. But I know I said that I'm not taking it in a teaser leg, but in a logical world, I do think the Eagles are a much better football team than the Giants, and they get this victory. They seem to be a team, though, that not like what we saw last Sunday with the Cardinals. They're a team that they're going to go and beat an opponent that they are better than. So I do think it would be Eagles 24-17 over the Giants is going to be my prediction.
My official prediction is Eagles break out the offense. They go over 30 this week. Eagles 31, Giants 20.
Ooh, okay. All right. We got a high-scoring contest there for the Eagles. Getting things done. All right. Well, that's going to be Thursday Night Football. What is that, 5:15 or so on Amazon tonight. We will step aside and we will wrap things up in the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060 with some leftovers.
James out west.
Mike Trout became the 59th player to hit his 400th home run. The home run record holder for the Angels. I was going to quiz you. Who do you think the number 2 is on the list for all-time home runs for the Anaheim Angels?
I would assume it's Shohei Ohtani.
Nope, Tim Salmon.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
$299 for Tim Salmon. Mike Trout got 101 more than the
Talk
next
about
guy.
naming a random MLB player that had a
Yeah.
really good career.
Yeah,
That's
dude, I loved watching Tim Salmon, bro. I'm about to
299 home runs.
cut together some Tim Salmon highlights.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we could be connected here and there.
Let's watch a movie.
And we have Netflix included to enjoy our favorite shows and movies.
¿Qué tal está? Bacanísima, pero ya la vi.
Now the hard part is getting them to agree on a movie.
Switch today and get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus with Galaxy AI, all on the best network in the U.S. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla. Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
Sticks. The hits. Live at Celebrity Theater. Friday and Saturday, January 9th and 10th. With special guest Max Gomez. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. A trip through all their best. Don't miss Sticks Live. Produced by Danny Zalisco Presents.
Raise a beer to the best event of the year. Four Peaks Brewing Oktoberfest is back at Tippytown Lake from Friday, October 10th through Sunday, October 12th. Named one of the best Oktoberfests in the country. Enjoy local and German beers, authentic food, live music, contests, carnival rides, and more. All ages welcome. Get your tickets today before it's too late. Visit fourpeaksoktoberfest.com. Don't miss Four Peaks Brewing Oktoberfest at Tippytown Lake, produced by Tippy Sister Cities.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract, play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
This Thursday, October 9th edition of The Lunch Break here on KDOS AM 1060 and with the KDOS 1060 app, as well as on the YouTube stream, KDOS AM 1060. A couple of things to note before I toss it over to Evan for the leftovers. The Phoenix Mercury fell to the Aces yesterday, 90-88. Asia Wilson is just so good. I guess there's a reason she is the league MVP, as she had Juana Bonner and Alyssa Thomas coming over on help defense, knocks down a bucket with 0.9 seconds to play to put the Mercury on top. In the contest, though, Satu Sabli, her head slammed into the Aces player's knee. She was down on the floor, suffered a concussion, and she has officially been ruled out for tomorrow's game, where the Mercury are looking to try to avoid being swept, as this is the first WNBA Finals to be the best of a 7 series. They took them to overtime in game 1. It wasn't really close in game 2. Furious attempt at a comeback here yesterday for the Mercury, but fell short, with the Aces now up 3-0 in the series. But Evan, it's going to be a busy night for you because you have the Phillies trying to avoid elimination and you have your Eagles playing some Thursday night football.
A busy night for everybody, right? We talked about the NHL. They have 14 games tonight. You have 2 playoff baseball games. You have a Thursday night football. I'm tuned in to playoff baseball. Luckily, I got the early game. So I got the 3:08 game leading right into Thursday night football. Hopefully I can watch both. We're going out with some friends, sit down, you got to get in the area. We got a bunch of different TVs. I can keep my eyes on everything. So it should be good. I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic about the Phillies. Little nervous, but you know what? At this point, playing with house money. You fell down 2-0. I didn't think they were going to win yesterday. So I'm trying to look at it that way. Look at it at the lens of that way.
Well, you do have the best possible pitcher like on your roster going tonight.
Certainly.
Christopher
And
Sanchez. So.
If his name isn't Zach Wheeler, I want it to be Christopher Sanchez hitting the bump. So I feel confident in that, but just having to get another win at Dodger Stadium. Tyler Glasnow, who has been great over the last few years for the Dodgers. It was kind of a down year this year, but just always things to be nervous about when you're playing the Dodgers. I will tell you, I think I'm taking the Phillies. Also, unofficially, I'm taking the Eagles minus 7.5 as my 2-point play this week.
All right. Wow. All right. Well, you're going heavy on your Phillies sports
I am.
tonight. It's going to be a fun night of sports, though, and we look forward to watching it all and being back with you tomorrow. It is the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.